Hello, everybody. Welcome to year number 2 of the Elite City Podcast. As you found out last week, we added to the crew. So, Biddy, welcome. Rick, welcome.
Thank you.
How's everybody's week going?
It's been good. I mean, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it
Biddy?
could be better.
It's all about being honest.
I like to be honest. What can I say?
Oh, there you go.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. Could have been better. Well, Tony Khan had a hell of a week so far.
Yeah, and surprisingly, hey, the internet was talking about CM Punk. Have you heard that?
No way.
Yeah,
I never guessed.
Yeah,
He was positive, right?
He, of course, 100% positive. It's
okay.
never. It would never not be.
Okay.
He correctly pointed out that he hasn't been on TV in 9 months, and yet every week we have stuff to say about him.
It's the best in pro wrestling.
It really is.
If you even call it that, the guy just sits at home and then people yell at him on the internet and he responds and then they go bananas. I don't know. It's like he doesn't really do anything. But yeah.
So we'll start at the beginning.
We'll start at the beginning.
Collision was announced as we expected.
8 o'clock. Okay, quick question. People, there's two terms of thought here. People were thinking it is being taped on Thursdays. That is not true. It's a live show.
Yeah, there's one episode that's being taped on Thursday, the one when they're in Hamilton.
Yes, and of course, there's probably going to be some preemption with it's going to be on TNT. So NBA season, there's probably going to be an NBA game on. Saturday nights at prime time sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not every week taped. It's a majority is going to be live.
Yes.
So,
and hopefully it doesn't bounce around like Rampage.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. We all know Biddy loves Rampage.
I've watched like maybe 2 episodes of it.
It's because Jade's on it.
Yeah. So Jade, speaking of Jade, is Jade going to have, it would make sense for Jade to be on Dynamite only because she's the TBS champion. They wouldn't put the TBS
Correct.
champion on TNT.
Maybe she's
Yes.
not the TBS champion for much longer.
That's true. But I'm just assuming, in general, the TNT title would probably stay on Saturdays now, and the TBS title will be on Wednesdays.
Yes. Which that needs to happen. Totally needs to happen. It makes both titles a little more important.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
There's been a whole bunch of rumors, and then not rumors, and then rumors again, of whether or not this is a brand split. Some people say it's definitely like a hard brand split, like people are going to be on one show or the other. And then other people say that it's not really a hard brand split. It's more of just like, you're usually going to be on this show. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts or feelings on what do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be like you could possibly be on both, but they kind of have not a brand anyway, but like how we always used to say, like Hook was kind of exclusive to Rampage for a while. I think it'll be like that. Like you'll be somewhere, you'll be on Collision for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months. Time to shuffle the deck a little bit. They'll make not trades, but someone from Dynamite goes to Collision, someone from Collision goes to Dynamite. That's what I would see.
I think it'll be something like, I don't think they're going to do like a draft and be like, you're exclusive to Collision and you're exclusive. I hope they don't, because that would be a little weird.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Right. My thing when it I want to know where Rampage fits into this.
Yeah, they kind of stopped talking about Rampage. I think it's going to take the place of like Dark and Elevation.
I think so too. But like,
because they're still taping it. They're taping it with Dynamite still.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say. I wasn't sure of, like, I knew its status was going to still exist, but I didn't know if it was still going to be like part of the Dynamite package. Well, then, yeah, of course, that's what they'll do.
And that'll make without Dark and Elevation, that'll make the Dynamite tapings a little bit easier to deal with if it's just Dynamite and then Rampage. So that's 3 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
That's reasonable. Like when it's like 6 hours, then it gets a little nuts.
Yes, we're very aware of that.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's awesome. And if I was like 25 years younger, it would be absolutely incredible. But when you start thinking about like, man, I gotta drive home. And
Yeah, I mean, you get your money's worth at a 5-hour
Totally.
show, but
Oh yes,
yeah,
there is that.
but
uh, yeah. They announced a big Canadian tour, Rick. You're gonna have to
they
take that
did.
alone.
I know, and I have to convince my wife that it does make sense for me to go to wrestling 2 days in a row. I really need to do this.
You can pull that off.
I
I
mean,
mean, I could tell.
it's 2 days out of 365.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. But we'll see.
That's all.
Now they announced a lot of shows for Collision, a lot of dates for Collision, but not the first
Yes.
one.
Yeah, which.
Oh boy, I wonder why.
Exactly. The big rumor is Chicago, and there's a certain person that lives there and is from there.
Colt Cabana.
It's exactly that he's going to probably be on the first episode.
And it's going to be dedicated to him, right?
Dude, yes. It's going to be
all Colt Cabana.
All Colt all the time.
That's right.
Boom,
No
boom.
knock against Colt. No knock against Colt Cabana, of course, but it's clearly not Colt Cabana.
Yes. So that's where all these rumors and the internet speculation comes into play. If you believe that he's mad at AEW again, you're an idiot. We're just we're gonna say that right off the top.
So there's a whole thing.
Right.
That. Okay, this is basically what happened, and then we can talk about why it happened.
Okay.
So apparently the rumor is, and it's true because people found like the cached version of the press release, because that's where we are now. We're looking for cached versions of press releases on the internet to see who's in them. The initial version of the press release included for Collision included the CM Punk references to CM Punk, where it said, how it says like Collision coming featuring Andrade and Miro, like it also said CM Punk in there, and then they took it out. And what I assumed, and what probably I'm assuming both of you assumed, was that they don't want to announce CM Punk's return in a press release. Right. They want to announce CM Punk's return like on television because that would be better.
But how does it get to the point where you write out and put it on the internet, the press release?
See, I think what it was
pull the wool over people's eyes.
I think what it was is Warner Brothers did the press release and was just like, oh, CM Punk's going to be on the show, and then Tony Khan or CM Punk or both was like, wait, we haven't announced that yet. Don't wreck it. It's cooler if you don't say it. And then Warner was like, oh, we didn't know. That's what I think happened.
That's a very good. Not possibility. That's probably what happened. Actually, that's a good eye.
Now, if you listen to the internet,
yes,
it's that Punk wants Ace Steel back, and insists on him return. Although I also saw that apparently Jericho suggested bringing Ace Steel back. I don't know if either of you saw that.
Been there the whole time. Yes. He
So
also was never fired.
So either way, Punk is so insistent on Ace Steel coming back to the company that he has now refused to come to Collision, and that's why they pulled him from the press release, and that's why they haven't announced the show in Chicago, because they don't know if he's going to be there.
I love it. It's the best.
That's what the internet will have you believe. But you can't have a story about CM Punk on the internet without CM Punk going to Instagram.
Correct.
Right, just shut up.
I'm sorry. Him attacking Meltzer at Brian Alvarez is always funny to me. I don't care.
Hilarious.
It's funny.
It's great.
I will laugh every single time.
I mean, why do these? I mean, just you have millions of dollars. Just ignore it. What do you care?
But no. See, I think I was with you until this week. I was with you on like, you're a rich, successful man. Why are you getting involved with this? But now my thinking is, you're a rich, successful man. Just have fun. Just throw crap at people on the internet and see what they say. Because hey, you're rich and successful. You could do it.
And it there's finally like the handcuffs are taken off. Like WWE, like you're allowed to use the internet like for your character a little bit, but like there's no rules like that in AEW. So if that's what he wants to do, as long as he's not, threatening an underage child or something. Like, it's just
give it time.
Yeah, tomorrow, CM Punk threatens underage child on Instagram.
Yeah, like until that happens, it's just gonna it's like we said before we started recording. He hasn't wrestled in 9 months, but yet we talk about him every week. It's
Speaking of which, so this is what he wrote on Instagram after he attacked Brian Alvarez. Friendly reminder: I haven't been on TV in 9 months, and y'all can't stop talking about me. Maybe stop. You'll feel better. Love, hate, it's all the same. I don't enjoy being the sole person that props up an entire misinformed clickbait industry based on toxic gossip from lying sources. But what can you do? When you're the king, it comes with the crown.
Badass.
Cool, man.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
It's awesome.
And that wasn't it. That was not enough.
Nope. He kept going and going.
Because then he did an actual video.
Yeah.
One more. Yeah, the video is amazing. One more before I go really quick. The parasocial relationship a lot of fringe wrestling fans have with certain people is really unhealthy. I get the tribalism. Like, it's fun to root for your team, but picking sides seems a little silly. You don't know me. You don't know anybody else. So go touch grass. Go touch grass is such a great line. I love it. When anyone on the internet tells anyone to touch grass, I think it's amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
It's a good line.
Yeah. It's like the 21st century of like the playground your mom joke. Like, just there was always that dude that had like the best one and you could never come back from it. Telling someone to go touch grass is like, go do it, dude.
Yeah.
There's no response.
So
yes.
What are I think I know Blasco's thoughts on this. What are Biddy's thoughts on the what's true, what's not true, what's real, what's not real, what's working, what's not working?
Honestly, at this point, I really don't care. Just whatever they're gonna do, just freaking do it already. I guess we gotta wait a month to see what happens, but I don't know. I'm a person who's always been like, just get to the point. And this has been so drawn out and so goofy that I'm like, I don't care anymore. Just do something, choose a direction and already get to it, because I mean, I get it. It's building up, heat for the company and him and all this stuff. I get it. I 100% understand it. I'm just like, whatever about it.
There is that side of it that people will be like, ugh, and just like annoyed with it at this point. Like, it's been going on for a while.
Right.
And I can see people being like, yeah, it was cool for a while, but yeah, I'm move on. I can see that.
I'm an impatient person, so I guess, yeah.
Well, I guess we'll know by next Wednesday, because the next Wednesday's Dynamite, Tony Khan said he would announce where the first collisions. If he says Chicago, it's CM Punk. If he says, we're gonna have it in Jacksonville, then there's a problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got to sell those tickets sooner than later. So
right.
Whatever happened, I'm sure that put a little. Even though wherever they are, I'm sure they'll do fine.
Yeah, I feel like this not announcing Chicago and all of this.
Right. That's what I was just going to say.
It seems like it's to draw attention to it. Because if they just announced, these are where all the shows are, and one was in Chicago, like, people would assume. But when you don't announce it and then wait, and then a week later say it's in Chicago, then like you're drawing specific attention to that Chicago show,
right?
And that will get more people to be, they specifically waited to talk about Chicago. Okay, it's because of this, and
And the other big elephant in the room with this whole thing is, like, let's not forget, Warner Brothers just made AEW a $1 billion company. Like,
not confirmed. That actually wasn't confirmed, but yes,
true, not confirmed. But they just invested a lot of money. We'll say
yes,
invested a lot of money in them. CM Punk will never give you the amount of money that Warner Brothers is able to give you. If he was causing this much trouble, Tony Khan would have said, "There's the door, use it, bye."
But would he though? Does he just want CM Punk working for him? Like, does he really just want him to work there?
Yeah, but
taking the devil's advocate role of like, if Tony Khan just really wants CM Punk to work there and isn't willing to like part with him, because him getting CM Punk was a big deal initially.
Correct.
Like that was huge. So he doesn't want to lose him now. So, but is he willing to do whatever to keep him?
See, that's where I would say no, because if the locker room is incredible, if an atmosphere is everybody says it is, and there's one person that ruins it every time they show up, you just fire them. Like nobody's gonna make everybody's life ass just because one person like you think is really cool and you want them to work for you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so that's why like it's everybody's in on it. Like because either that or people would just start to walk. Like, oh, I can make more money on the indies. I'm not going to sit around and have this guy ruin.
I mean, especially
everything that I worked
because
for.
especially because we know the Bucks and Kenny have their contracts coming up this year.
Right.
So if he knows their contracts are coming up, and he knows, like, assuming it's all what people believe
Right.
it is, if he knows their contracts are coming up, and he knows that they hate CM Punk, and he knows that CM Punk is a disaster backstage, anyone would assume that, oh, if I bring this guy back, they're going to leave.
Right. Right.
And I mean, there's a chance that maybe he's fine with that. Like maybe
True.
he would, if he has to choose between, maybe in his mind he's already decided, if I have to choose between the Elite and Punk, I'm picking CM Punk.
Ooh, that's putting all your eggs in one basket.
It is. I don't think
is.
that's not a wise decision.
No.
But I mean, he could have decided that.
I would
I
hope
don't
he
know.
was smarter than that. I mean, seriously, how many
Right.
more years can CM Punk even wrestle? Every time he gets in the ring, he freaking rips a muscle or whatever.
And what
breaks
is he
a
like?
foot.
He's like 45 or
43,
yeah.
I think.
Okay.
He's my age. I'm a little older than him, I think.
Yeah, and
So
yeah. So it's not much longer.
I mean, yeah, the Bucks are what, in their early 30s, and Kenny, I think, is 38. So at least, just, you know, from an investment point of view, you got more years out of them, and there's 3 of them.
And
compared
I mean, the company's named after them.
that's they're
That's
the
also true.
yeah. They're kind of
And everybody knows, like Rick, we've talked about it on here a million times. Punk is an old school guy. Tony Khan is an old school guy. They're taking advantage of the internet. Like they know that, oh, if Punk tweets out he ordered cheese pizza today, that somebody's gonna go bananas over that.
Right. And I think because he's an old school guy, that makes me think that he's probably saw the press release and was like, wait, you can't do it like that.
Right.
You can't. That's not how they would have, in the past have introduced brought back a wrestler who's been gone for a while. They would just have him show up. Like that would be the cool part. And AEW has had issues with the network in that capacity before. Like when Sting arrived, it was a surprise. And apparently TNT, on TNT, Dynamite was on TNT at the time, was a little upset, being like, no, if you're going to have a guy like Sting show up, we want to be able to announce it in advance to get more people to watch. And Tony Khan's reasoning, which I agree with, was no, it was way cooler. It was way cooler to just have him show up.
Yeah, because when I stood up in my living room with my mouth wide open, going, holy shit, Sting just showed up.
Yeah,
unreal. So yeah, the whole thing with Punk, it's incredible. But Biddy, I totally can see how you think it's annoying.
I don't know.
I get it.
I get it. I totally get it.
I totally get it.
Eventually, you're just like, just get back. Like, I get it.
Just quit with all of this extra. It's very dramatic, which I get it. It's wrestling. It's supposed to be dramatic, but like, come on, guys.
I just like that he makes fun of the internet.
It's the best.
I think it's great.
Dynamite also happened.
Oh yeah, they had a show.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's another downside to this Punk stuff for the last 9 months, because you could always be like, Dynamite, oh, CM, okay, and let's talk about CM Punk, and you just don't even like.
Right, and it's always wow, imagine that. It's always before an event or a show.
Yeah, that's another reason that makes me think that this is all planned, because why would this only happen on Wednesdays?
Or he's just that much of a narcissist.
That's also true. Yes. Though they have kind of positioned Collision to be like the guys with bad attitude show. Like they put Miro on there, Andrade's on there, like Thunder Rosa's on there, like CM Punk apparently is on there. Like, hey, all the guys who created drama on the internet? We're going to put them all on one show.
It's basically like detention.
Yeah. And I really do think that like they're they're gonna position it as like on Dynamite, there's guys who like have athletic contests against one another because they want to be the best wrestler, and on Collision, it's just everybody hates each other.
It's just the trashy reality show version.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be so awesome. I hope that's what it is. That's incredible.
I do hope that's what it is because they'd have to differentiate them a little bit, and I think Dynamite could be like the competition type show where like they all kind of respect one another, but they're competing, and then Collision will be like no, these guys just don't like each other. That's why they're fighting. It has nothing to do with competition. They just are mad.
Yeah. And then get this, guys, they collide at the pay-per-views.
Ooh.
Writes itself.
Before we get to Dynamite, I just want to mention how much I love that it's a knockoff of the Nitro logo.
Oh, 100%.
So incredible.
I think it's great. I really hope they go all in on that, but no pun intended. I hope they do like the flame mats beside the ring. I hope they have like a big metallic AEW sign like WCW did.
I feel like they got to tread a little lightly though, because Vince and
would be
like, that's mine. Give me the money.
Do we know that Vince remembers WCW?
It's very true.
he may not. He may or he may think that was his. Like, I started it. What are you talking about? Like, you can't steal my stuff. I ran WCW. People have to be like, no, you actually didn't run WCW. You just bought it.
But here's the question. You were talking about the flame mats, and I brought up to you in the little text conversation. Oh, they probably couldn't do that because of copyrights.
Right.
But I wonder, like, can you copyright a mat pattern? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you can, but you know what you can do is take someone on a giant expensive lawsuit to find out if you can.
Right.
Well, that's true too.
I could see WWE just suing them, and even if they can't win the lawsuit, just like wasting everyone's time and money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a
totally
a Vince MO.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're definitely using the same color scheme. That red and yellow is
yes.
Is as WCW as it gets. But I wonder what is under the WCW like patent
and how many of those trademarks did they renew? Because you have to your trademark runs out if you don't defend it after a while.
So that's a good question.
I can't imagine the WWE letting that happen though.
I mean, didn't they let 4 Horsemen go?
Yeah, because Arn owns that now.
Yeah.
I mean, Roderick Strong was actually working there. And they
forgot about him.
Yeah, they just forgot his contract ran out.
I mean, AEW ran a Bash at the Beach until WWE was like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's very true. How's that train wreck still work? Anyways,
so Dynamite
had a heck of an opener. It was substitute teacher Wardlow coming out and calling out Christian. I
said
spit
that in his face.
To spit in his he threatened him, or not threatened him. He I can't think of the word. Never mind. It was interesting. Dared him. There you go. He dared him to spit in his face. Thank you. It was an interesting opening for Dynamite.
It wasn't a match. It wasn't even really a segment. It was kind of just a
angry giant man calls out villain in a turtleneck.
But turtleneck villain once again got the last laugh.
Christian's so incredible.
He's great.
It was a fun segment. I found it a little odd that whenever Luchasaurus went to go look for weapons, he just pulled out a ladder. I mean, it made sense in the long run.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the time, I didn't I couldn't have grabbed a chair, like a bat. I don't know. You just take the ladder. But Wardlow challenges Christian to a ladder match for the TNT title at Double or Nothing.
Yes.
That's going to be pretty gnarly, I think.
I said last week, I know Wardlow hasn't had the title long, and he should keep it longer. He should.
Yeah.
But I really want Christian to win. I think that would be great.
Oh, it'd be incredible. Yeah, I agree.
He would be hilarious. He would refuse to wrestle most of the time. He'd send Luchasaurus out to like fight people for him. It would be great.
Yeah, oh man, that would be so good. I love Christian. Sorry, I just keep thinking of all these scenarios and can't talk now.
His brain is overloading.
It is. Is everybody just waiting for Luchasaurus to like explode and destroy somebody? Like,
I mean, I think eventually he's going to explode and destroy Christian.
Well, right. But like, I want Christian just unleash him on somebody. Like, he always brings him down, but he never lets him do anything, and it just gets on my nerves.
Yeah, I think it's like it's Christian. That's Christian.
No, that's true too.
He wants it to be like, I could do this at any time. I'm not yet, but I could. Just so you know.
Oh, I hope Edge signs. Anyway.
Speaking of a big guy and a little guy hiding behind that big guy.
Exactly.
Big Bill and Lee Moriarty.
Awesome tag team. Like,
yes.
They're incredible.
I thought
Orange Cassidy and go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say versus Orange Cassidy and Darby.
I thought this while it was on. I like all of these guys. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty are entertaining. Big Bill's like super improved from when he showed up. Yes. I love Orange Cassidy. He's great. His entrance is incredible. I love Darby Allin. He's great. I didn't care for this match. Not that it was a bad match. I like them all. I just didn't care.
Yeah, it made like zero sense.
It was out of nowhere.
Right.
Which I guess Darby and Orange have been teamed up at the house rules, but other than that,
I guess it was trying to make the house show relevant.
Right.
Or are they already giving Darby, when he loses a Double or Nothing, a tag partner to go that route or something? I don't know.
And they did want to get all the other guys, the three challengers on the show. So I guess that's why they did it. But it was fine. Like, the match was fine. It was fine. I wasn't upset with it. It just, I didn't really. You assumed Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin were going to win, and I didn't really care. Like, it was good, but I didn't care.
I agree with you. It was a good, I guess, I don't want to say time kill, but
it was a time kill.
Filler. Yeah, it was a filler match, I guess. But I don't know. I didn't have any problem like with the actual match itself, like you.
No,
but as far as what it was like, it was a little forced.
Yeah.
But it led to after. Oh well, Orange Cassidy and Darby, they win, of course. In the next segment, the BCC confront the Bucks in the parking lot, and when Nick Jackson, I believe, threw his suitcase, did you notice it cracked Wheeler like directly in the nose?
I did not, but I like that Wheeler is like their designated, the BCC's designated, like, you can get beaten up guy.
Yeah,
go back. It's not going to be Claudio or Mox or Danielson, but like, we're fine with Wheeler Yuta getting beaten up. That's okay.
Yeah, like, if you go back and watch the clip, like, I mean, Nick launches that suitcase and Wheeler doesn't get his hand up, and it just, I don't know how he wasn't bloody. Like, it blasts him in the face. It's gnarly. I thought that was, well, obviously a setup for what happened later in the night, but I thought that was an awesome, like, backstage parking lot segment.
Yeah, the BCC being just like jerks who fight everybody. I like it.
Yes.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Well, Sammy had a squash match against Exodus Prime.
I really thought Exodus Prime was going to win this one.
I thought he was going to
really thought he was going to, like, Sammy Guevara, who they built up for weeks to challenge for the title, thought he might lose, but he did.
Right.
Exodus Prime couldn't pull it off.
My question that I'm going to throw to both of you here. Well, they of course use Texas for Sammy because he's from there. Are they trying to get him totally babyface by the pay-per-view?
It definitely seems like it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It seems like it to me too. But is it working? That's the next question.
I mean, I don't think he's as hated as he was, but I That's a huge hole to dig him out of to make him babyface.
And he got cheered yesterday, but it wasn't Texas, so it's hard.
Right.
It's hard to say how he'd react if it was anywhere else. I mean, how the crowd would react.
I think for him to be full blown, like, I mean, even later in the night when he came out and he said he respected Darby and I'm not going to lay down for Max, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, he still got cheers, but like Biddy said, there's still like the haters out there. He needs to totally drop Jericho. Like,
I agree.
Not the fake drop like he did the first time. Like, just seriously, even if they do it on TV, say, hey man, thank you for everything you ever did for me, but find someone else now. Look, you got me to where I am. Thank you. But
it's time for the little bird to fly.
Yeah.
I think they actually have to have him like leave. Like Jericho has to be bossing him around too much and him be like, no, I'm done. And like stand up to him. Not even like, not necessarily attack him or hurt him or fight him, but less amicably be like, no, I'm not like you. I'm not going to act like you. He has to draw like a line that he's not like Chris Jericho to get him to be a face.
That's a good point. You draw the line, and yeah, great call.
Because his promos have been good. Like his promos have been good face promos, but it is hard to go from the guy everybody hates and is chanting "F you" at to being the guy who just worked hard and put his whole effort into AEW and really wants to be a champion, and like everyone's supposed to just be like, oh yeah, we didn't just absolutely despise him a couple months ago.
Yeah, great point.
You're right. He has to split up from Jericho. That's the only way to make him and like split, permanent split.
Yeah, like if there is going to be a soft brand split, maybe literally put Sammy on the other show, even if it's for a month, like to just put a little wedge in between them for a minute.
And I think they do have to have like an actual, not just like they're not around each other for a while. I think he actually needs to leave.
Yes. Yeah.
In order for him to get over as a face.
I wonder if they've just been afraid that, because they tried it before when he was TNT champion and it went very poorly. Like,
yeah.
I wonder if that's just why they haven't tried it again or what. I mean, but when's the last time he was out with Jericho?
Yeah, he's not really with him anymore. Like he's officially with him, but he's not. But then they mentioned during the match with the JAS was banned, Excalibur explicitly mentioned that includes Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Like they still mention that he's in the group.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know. I can't even remember the last show that they were together on.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, even I was just gonna say, even Sammy's vest says like it still says like Spanish gods and stuff, but it doesn't say JAS. Like it says like R.I.P. Brody Lee and stuff on it.
Yeah, it used to like it said before he had it. It said Inner Circle on it, and now you're right. It doesn't say JAS anywhere. They really do need to just end the JAS, but that's an aside.
Well, they got to keep the only thing they got to keep from the JAS is Hager and his hat.
Yeah, Hager can stay as like Jericho's muscle.
Yeah, and his hat. I mean,
and his hat. Yes, and because like 2.0, if even they're not 2.0 anymore, I don't think like they're funny with the JS, but they'd be equally funny if they weren't in the JS. Like they don't need to be with him anymore.
They don't. Yeah.
And Danny Garcia, like that's fine. He can move on.
Man, like if you really think about it, like even the match later on in the evening that Jericho had with Roderick Strong, Jericho has literally like made a lot of names of these people through these past 4 years.
Yes, I agree. That's true.
Like,
that's true.
I mean, that's kind of why they pay him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird that like a lot of veterans don't do that, and Jericho seems to be giving back way more than was ever given to him. Like veterans.
That's true. I mean, he does hog the spotlight a lot himself, but he does include others in that spotlight, which is more than like guys like Hogan and them did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the Action Andretti thing. Imagine like Hulk Hogan doing that.
Right.
Ever.
I mean, a lot of guys wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, right. I didn't see Triple H putting over young talent on his way out either. But everyone loves him now, so that you can't say that anymore.
Because
now now the internet loves him, and they forget how absolutely terrible he was as world champion in every possible way. But anyway, Triple J, who is much more fun and entertaining than Triple H, they were out next.
And speaking of former world champion Jeff Jarrett in 2023, how is this happening every week? It just gets better.
I'm sorry, this segment was outstandingly funny.
It was great.
It was so good. It was so good.
Even the unironically funny of Jay Lethal splitting his pants just added to it.
I mean,
he looked like he got in a shark attack.
Like how do pants even get shredded like that? Like what were they made? Like those were the cheapest pants I've ever seen.
They were Walmart pants.
I've had pants ripped, but not like that. Like
the whole leg just like split.
You're right. It looks like he got bit by something.
And like I loved at the end when he was just walking up the ramp and like
he also lost a shoe. I think Dax took his shoe and threw it away. That was amazing. And we haven't even mentioned Satnam Singh going through a table.
No, yeah, Satnam, like that was probably the coolest table bump I've ever seen. Dude.
The way he went through it, he was just standing there, and they just like walked up and just like pushed him. Like they didn't set him up. They didn't like. They just pushed him off the edge. It was great.
It was awesome. And then, well, speaking of clothes exploding, then Satnam, for some reason, got mad at his sport coat and ripped it apart.
Coming back down to the ring, just like ripping up his jacket.
It was incredible.
They were just mad at their clothes. It was great. It was so funny.
Was so good.
I was laughing the entire time.
Same here.
They do a great job at being funny, but not like too goofy. Like it's funny, but it's not like stupid funny or where you're not like that doesn't work. That would never make sense. Like you could be in a fight and have your pants ripped. Like that's feasible. And they just made it funnier.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Like you even mentioned that last night. Like nobody did anything to damage it like with over the top comedy. Like it was just naturally funny.
Like, you know, sometimes when heels get in a fight and they get thrown into like a cake or something, and then they stand up and they fall over again, and they stand up and they flip over again, and then it's just like that no person would ever react like that to like falling on a cake.
That's like a cartoon.
They didn't like make it cartoon funny. They just made it funny.
Right. Yeah.
So you mean when Cody fell down after Brock Lesnar beat him up at the top of the ramp? Like that was not how it would happen.
Are you saying Cody Rhodes overacted? That's not the Cody Rhodes I know. He's very subtle in his actions. Anytime he's done anything, he doesn't like lose a single match and then take his boots off and try to retire in the middle of the ring after losing literally one match.
He anyway, retired now.
Karen Jarrett.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's such a Karen thing to do.
I had no idea who she was until they named her. None whatsoever.
Well, the first thing I said is, "Isn't that Kurt Angle's wife?" Oh,
okay. I didn't even know that. Like I knew he was married to her, but I didn't know what she looked like.
Oh, was she actually married to that chick?
Yeah, she was Kurt Angle's wife, and then Kurt Angle he worked himself into a shoot, brother. He started having her appear with him on TNA, which was owned by Jeff Jarrett, and now she's Karen Jarrett.
Oh, that's a big old Midwestern size right there.
So that happened. Yes.
So that did happen. Of all people that could have showed up, you could have given me 800 million guesses and I would have never guessed Jeff Jarrett's wife.
No. The only like weirder response would have been if they like brought back Cole Carter for no reason.
I would have at least made sense. Because was in the company.
Right. But Karen, that was it. Like it wasn't bad, but it was weird.
Yeah. Is she going to be with them?
I don't know. Is she any good? I've never seen her do anything. Is she any good on TV? Like, is she entertaining? I've never seen her do anything.
I couldn't answer that. I didn't watch TNA then, but I did know who. Like,
I knew who she was, and that's it.
Right. That's. So I have no idea.
Now, do you think Jarrett and Lethal take the tag titles. I know we talked about this
No.
last week, but now knowing what we've seen, I don't think they do. I think you're right.
No,
Because
they can't do that to FTR.
They spent so long. You mentioned it last week. They spent so long putting the titles on FTR that it would be bizarre to just take them off them again.
Yeah. I mean, as awesome as it would be for
it would
Jarrett.
be cool. Like, I would like it. I think it would be fun, but I don't think they will.
Oh, the internet would be so mad.
Oh, they'd be so mad. It'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And see, sometimes I think Tony Khan books things like that on purpose.
I mean, Tony Khan is extremely online.
He is.
He's the most online like billionaire I've ever seen. Well, no, second most online billionaire I've ever seen.
He's the ultimate millennial nerd.
He really is. Yeah,
He really is.
It's great. Today he tweeted about the Dynamite ratings and also mentioned how highly rated it was on cagematch.net.
What?
That's incredible. How does he have time to look all these like analytics up? Like,
I have to find the tweet. It was great. It was such a Tony Khan thing to say. Where is it? Oh, by the way, his location on Twitter is Forbidden Door.
he's such a dork. Oh, I love it.
Thank you all who watched AEW Dynamite last night. I thought it was a great show. It's been amazing to see such positive feedback from fans 2 weeks in a row. After 189 show numbers, 188, 189 are the highest rated shows back to back by fans voting on Cage Match in Dynamite history.
What?
Unreal.
Okay.
That's an extremely online person.
I mean, granted,
I've never even heard of Cage Match. I don't even know what that is.
Fans can go and vote on matches. Like if
that's
the
what
match,
I mean.
yeah. It's basically fans go and vote on matches, and like they get a score out of 10 based. Like you can rate them. You can rate a match out of 10, and then like they aggregate all the scores. It's kind of like a Rotten Tomatoes thing, but it's only fans. Like there's no like real critics. It's just everybody can go vote.
Yeah. Of course he has an account there.
Of course he does. Yeah, definitely.
But you know what? It's probably like whatever that website started, he probably was like one of the first people to sign up.
Right.
So it's like
100%.
10 years old.
I'm sure he's been to like really into it since he was like in his 20s, and now is just like, I'm on it. It's so cool. Yeah.
I think I heard him say in an interview one time, Dynamite and Rampage were the names of his like action figure federations.
Yeah, and then they became his EFED federation.
Yes.
EFED shows later. The fact that he did EFEDs is amazing. I did EFEDs when I was a teenager. I was the biggest nerd, and so was he.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do EFEDs. That's one thing. Like, I mean, I knew like what they were and like that they existed, but I just never.
I ran one. Excuse me, when I was like,
that's incredible.
When I was like 18 or 17.
I can't believe out of the three of us, you're the one that's married, by the way.
Yep. You don't tell them about the EFEDs till afterwards.
That's awesome.
Once you're already married, then you're like, by the way, you know how wrestling is lame and nerdy? I did pretend internet wrestling. So there.
It made it nerdier.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, okay, now I have to
Moving
ask,
on. Oh, go ahead. What is it?
What was the name of the federation?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Boo.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Perfect.
I bet it's so cringy.
Oh, yeah. I was 17.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible. Anyways, Britt and Shida versus the Outcast.
Shida with new theme music.
Shida with new theme music and new ring gear, and the Outcast had matching ring gear.
I love that. I love that. Outcast look. I think they do need to kind of drop the L on the forehead thing because they look really cool when they come out. Like their gear is cool, their matching jackets are cool, the music is cool, and then they do the L thing. And I get why they're doing it, but like it makes them look less cool.
100%.
I mean, we did that in junior high?
Right.
Yes. Well, whatever you're. Hold on, I'm gonna age.
Well, no, you were probably like 40 by the time we were in junior high. But anyway.
Totally.
But they're like in their late 20s, so they were what, 6 or so? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Maybe
But-
it's just like all those ugly like mom jeans coming back. They think it's cool.
Yeah,
and
if something happened
retro.
if something happened in the 90s, it's back now.
Yeah.
Say everything old is new.
There you go. But I like them. I like the Outcasts.
Oh, the Outcasts are great.
I think they're really cool.
I love how you can hear Saraya shrieking the entire match.
Yes.
Shut up! Like
she's just yelling at fans, and
Yes.
it's great. It's great. I didn't think any of them would be good heels, and they're all really good heels.
yeah.
Again, this comes back to when we didn't know that Claudio could talk. for
Right.
8 years in WWE. Like, seriously, there's the people in charge there. They think the definition of talent is the opposite of what it is.
I just assumed they were also likable. Like even with Saraya, like I know
True.
like she was the like not the least likable, but she had the most potential to be a heel because some people don't like her, and I get that. But like Toni Storm and Ruby were just like everybody liked them. Like universally, everybody just liked them.
Yeah,
And-
they were like little sweeties.
Right. And like everyone wanted them to do well, and everyone wanted them to, and like they're really good at being heels. It's great.
Oh, they're so good. Do they add a member?
I mean,
Like,
the only
do
one
you-
that would make sense would be Athena.
Athena
In
would
my
make
opinion.
sense. Athena would make sense. Don't forget they can add Trinity now. That she only works for Impact. So that's
And who cares about them? But yeah, no, I agree.
well, I mean, doesn't Jarrett still have a stake in Impact?
I don't think anymore. I think he sold
okay.
it.
Okay. I was
He
gonna
sold it.
say with Jarrett there.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he sold it a while ago.
Okay. So, and then there's obviously Mercedes.
Yes.
I was gonna say, or they signed someone new.
Yes.
Or do you let the AEW girls get the hand up, and how they just did with Shida, do they do the same thing but with Mercedes and have Mercedes turn on the Outcasts?
Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, that would work.
Just because you would obviously assume like, oh, she's gonna go with the other WWE people,
Right.
but she also left WWE.
I mean, they
were
all left
fired.
WWE.
Well, no, they were fired. She left on
Well,
her
no,
own.
Saraya left.
Oh, that's right. Saraya or Toni Storm left, didn't she?
Toni Storm like asked to be released,
Oh, so they did all leave.
and
That's hilarious.
Saraya's contract just ran out.
Okay.
Well,
So
because she
then
didn't think she could
Ruby,
wrestle there.
Ruby was released, like not
Ruby
willingly.
was released. Okay.
Yeah.
So was Athena, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Athena was also released.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what idiots. Sorry.
I
Speaking
love how Toni Storm asked for and they don't let anyone be released because she was just like, I'm not going to wrestle anymore, and they're like, okay, and then she immediately joined AEW.
Right.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Totally good for her. I don't understand how that is legal. How you sign a contract, but only they can break it.
Yeah, it's odd that you can't ever break it. I agree. Now, do you think that Jamie's actually hurt? I know when you were in Pittsburgh, both of you
yes.
said that you thought she was hurt.
She looked real hurt. Like, just the way that they, like, I don't know, Biddy, like, it literally looked like they ushered her out. Like,
Yeah.
it happened real quick. She didn't have the belt. Britt actually carried the belt back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it seemed kind of serious. If it's a work,
If it's a
then-
work, they really went out of their way to make it look
Yeah.
real.
Because
And
my
they did a heck
thinking
of a
was
job.
that's how they wrote her out so Britt could be attacked by the Outcast later. But now she's not wrestling still. So
Right.
right? And I mean, they put her in the graphic, like
right.
And she was initially supposed to be in this match, right?
Right.
that's what I mean. They put her in the graphic, and
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Though it seems like they expect her to be back because Toni Storm challenged her for the title.
right.
So they expect her.
Yeah.
I mean, they expected her back on Wednesday, and she wasn't. So hopefully she'll be
yeah.
back to wrestle.
Maybe
Like-
they're
like-
just being really cautious so that she doesn't get like re-injured before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, this show seemed a little bit like with Sammy having just the random squash match until we got to Jungle Boy for some reason having a really, really long match. But anyway,
Yeah.
it seemed to me like this show was kind of just like, don't let any of the main guys get hurt
right.
before Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they're doing with Jay. Maybe she's like 90% and she could have wrestled, and they're just
Right.
like, no, yeah, you're
Not
right.
risk it. We don't need any more of that.
Yeah, they'd have to do an interim champion again.
have a replay of last summer.
Yeah.
Everybody hurt going into the biggest pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Just about, they'll be like, is AEW cursed in the summertime?
I'm sure there's already a bunch of YouTube videos titled that.
Guaranteed.
If anyone takes that, you're welcome.
Orange Cassidy found out he has to face 20 other human beings at the Blackjack Battle Royal.
He asked Renee if she wanted to do it too.
Which was incredible.
Yeah, that was great. Orange is hilarious. And yeah, him with Renee was great.
My favorite part of that promo when she was like, well, Orange, Tony Khan's door has been very busy tonight. Actually, 20 people shut up for it. And he just goes, 20?
Yeah, and then he goes, that's a lot.
That's a lot. It's just so good. If you don't
now, what do you think happened with Kyle Fletcher? It seemed like he was going to be, like, he might still be in this battle royal, but why are they doing a battle royal and not a one-on-one match?
If I could,
I don't know who that is, so maybe it's the lack of draw.
Yeah, that's possible. Or is that like it's going to be a Forbidden Door thing?
I was going to say that would be a Forbidden Door thing, or they're doing it to protect Kyle Fletcher because he is also half of the IWGP Tag Team Champions.
Okay, that's who that is.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh, you're good.
You have to catch up on your obscure New Japan wrestlers. AEW demands it.
Why did I agree to this?
Because we put you on the spot.
That's right. You had no choice. You'd seem like a real jerk if you said no.
Yeah. So there. Gotcha. Jericho versus Roderick Strong.
Yes.
I will say I had a stake in this match. I planted my flag for once, and it didn't backfire.
Yes, you called it. You called the band from the building, but not from outside the building.
You did it. You done did it.
I will say my only disappointment in the whole thing is at the end they should have had Jericho's people just like the JAS like sitting at a picnic table or something, and Jericho been like, "You idiots!"
That would have been good.
Yeah, like that was.
And they'd be like, "No, I thought we couldn't interfere." He's like, "We're not in the building."
Yeah, like that would have just that would have been good. Cherry on top.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Him all muddy. Also, when they beat him up in the flowers, in the planter. Oh, that was great too.
The poor gardener of the grounds is like, "My babies."
I just planted bulbs.
The match, it was okay. It was fine. It was a good street fight.
It was what I expected.
This obviously sets up Jericho versus Cole.
Yes.
Now, is this going to be a Double or Nothing, or do you think this is a All In?
I assume it's Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I hope so, and I hope it just ends the feud. To be honest.
Oh, okay.
I really do want to see Jericho Sammy. I want Adam Cole to beat him in this, and then Jericho to like flip out and like tell off the JS or something, and then Sammy to be like, you know what, I'm done, and then have them have a thing.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I'm down for that.
I'm totally down for that.
That's what I want to see, because I think you're right. He needs to leave. He needs to actively leave the J, and that's a good way to do it, I think.
Yeah. That gives it a little finality, you know.
Yeah, and let them have a pay-per-view match. They've been together basically since the first Dynamite, so let them have like a blow-off on pay-per-view. Let it be All In. That would be cool.
Oh, imagine that. Yeah, speaking like that's full circle for Sammy.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knew who he was 4 years ago. He's the first match on Dynamite. He wrestles Chris Jericho in front of possibly 100,000 people.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That's an awesome story. Yeah,
that would be great. That would turn him face.
Yeah, and that just gave me chills to like just that scenario for Sammy would be unreal.
That would turn him face for sure.
On a more serious note, we had on air, which AEW is very classy with this. They announced pretty much when it happened, the passing of superstar Billy Graham.
It was unfortunate that it happened during this match because they had to be like, I mean, it was obviously unfortunate that he died,
right?
But they had to say superstar Billy Graham has died. Oh, he went through a table. Like that was a little.
Yeah.
It was a little. I fully appreciate them wanting to say it as soon as they found out and like wanting to dedicate time. Like that's very nice.
That's nice, but go to commercial break and come back and do it.
Yeah, it was a little weird to be like, superstar Billy Graham has died. Oh, look, they're in the crowd. Like that was a little. It was, and I don't blame them because Tony Khan probably just told them over the headset, like, hey, it was tell people that he died.
Yeah,
and I get that like Excalibur was probably in a weird position.
To
have to do that.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't really have many, like, I mean, I've seen Superstar interviewed, but like he was already done by the time I like was watching wrestling. I mean, even though that was 8,000 years ago.
Yeah, the only like active memory I have of him as like at real time, not like watching it back later, like watching it as it happened. By the time I started watching wrestling, he was managing Don the Rock Morocco.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And that's the only time I remember like watching him live or as it happened. And by that point, he'd been retired for a long time. What I do know in retrospect is basically everyone ripped him off afterwards. Like Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura, like their whole gimmick was all Scott Steiner. Their gimmicks were all basically superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah, and was he? Now, if I'm not trying to spread rumors, I'm not trying to do anything. But was he the first person that was like caught with steroids? Or was
I know
he
had a situation with them. I don't know what it was.
No way.
Like I mean like a public situation.
Yeah, that's
and I don't know what it was particularly.
I thought there was something like that in his like I said, I didn't want to start a rumor or anything, but I thought there was a steroid story in there.
What it is he I mean later on he would give talks on the dangers of steroids.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he was the first known to be. I know he also had a big dispute with Vince about the steroids.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I wonder.
He claimed that the WWF and what's his name, George Zahorian, that doctor, that forced him to take steroids to maintain his position in the company, and then sued them, and it wasn't a successful lawsuit, but he did sue them.
I believe it.
Vince McMahon do
No
something
way.
like that? Yeah, no, not Vince McMahon. No.
Not that pure sweet little baby angel.
I won't accept Vince McMahon doing something wrong. This is Vince McMahon we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty stand-up guy, huh?
Never, horribly abused anyone. No.
Yeah, he doesn't chew people up and spit them out.
No, not the Vince McMahon I know. He's lovable.
I mean, anyways.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go into Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
that'll be a podcast on its own.
Oh, there
one
is
day.
Actually one that you introduced me to.
Yes, I've only heard the first episode. And the first episode was basically, all these horrible people in wrestling. I don't know if you listened to it yet.
I'm going to start it after we're done tonight.
The first episode barely talks about Vince McMahon. They just talk about other terrible people in wrestling and like awful things they've done prior to Vince McMahon. And then was like, but Vince McMahon was worse. And then that's going to be the next episode. Like they go into like the Von Erich family and the dad who like abused the kids and they like all this stuff. And then they're like, and you think that's bad. This is Vince McMahon. So I haven't heard part 2 yet.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be bad. I'm assuming it's going to be really bad.
Oh, and yet they'll cheer his name.
They would sing along with his theme song if he came out today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Hey, remember when he said the N-word on national TV?
He also did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. Most of it bad.
I don't think there's anything good if you seriously sit down and think about it. Like,
Yeah.
Remember how he let his daughter be called a slut on TV multiple times?
Remember how he proposed an angle where he would impregnate his daughter and she shot it down and he didn't know why?
God.
and then there's that. I mean,
and then after she shot down, he was like, "Well, why can't it be Shane?" And she was like,
Ah.
"No, I'm not doing this."
How did? Oof.
how did-
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
yeah.
Roosh versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
And Rick, you brought it up before. Why Jack Perry had to be put through a ringer?
Right. Like Darby got a tag match, which is a match, but it's still a tag match.
Right.
Sammy got a squash, and then they're like, "We're gonna give you like a 20-minute long match where you just get beat up the whole time."
and Roosh did just that.
Yeah.
Like Jack Perry got like 2 moves in the pin in,
And then
That's
kind of
not it.
cheated to win.
and cheated to win. That's right. He grabbed his tights
Yeah.
and almost became paralyzed when he took that backdrop off the apron.
Anyone
was
doing
nuts.
stuff off the apron always scares me.
It's so nuts to me.
I guess this might have been like a trying to, because Darby's already over, right? Like
Right.
everyone likes Darby. And I think this was kind of we're going to put Sammy over as like the guy who, dreamed about this since he was little. And then we're going to put Jack Perry over as like, he's just tough. Like he'll stand up, he'll just go through a lot. Like they would try to put him over by giving him a tough match. I don't know.
I mean, I could see that because, like, unfortunately for Jack Perry, is like everybody knows that he grew up insanely rich. Like, you
Right.
could say MJF did, like, but we really don't know what his parents did. Like, he was
Right.
probably well off, but I mean, everybody knows.
And if they were well
Sister
off,
knows
they were
who-
probably like well off, not like super rich.
Right.
Like comfortable, like high class, like upper class,
Right.
but not like
like
not movie star
Luke-
famous.
He was, I mean, first off, he was a 90s teen heartthrob and like made tons of money on what was it, Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah.
And like it's his son, so of course, like I could see him having a harder time getting over because, like, oh yeah, must have been real tough for Jack on the indies making $20. Oh, he had millions in the bank.
Right. I feel like that might be why they do, because I was thinking, why when they're doing all these promos with each other, why have they not mentioned that? Right. That like he got a leg up because his family was famous. And
Right.
that might be why, because that could turn people against him, being like, "Oh yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Darby and Sammy and MJF all did work through the indies, and he worked through the indies, but like you're right, he didn't have to like live in his car,
Right. He could have, like, I don't know,
he could have made $0 in the indies, and it wouldn't have mattered to his life.
Right. Yeah, he could have flown himself to a show in Pittsburgh, whereas someone had a car that needed tires and they couldn't get somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that weird aspect of it, but I don't know. I felt I kind of just felt bad for him the whole match.
I think maybe that was the point. I think that's what they were trying to do.
It made Roosh look awesome though. I
Yes.
mean, it succeeded. It did 2 things. Like obviously Roosh lost. Does that put Roosh at number 4 in the company now?
Right.
Is MJF at the top? Then there's the 3 pillars. Then Roosh.
Right.
Is that safe to say?
I mean, yeah. I mean, based on if you're taking like ring performance and who you've beaten and who you it was weird that Jack Perry kind of cheated. Like he held the tights and they pointed it out. Like it was a little weird to have him cheat, wasn't it? If they're trying to put him over, they're trying to put them all over his faces.
Maybe it was kind of just like he was so desperate to end it that's why.
Yeah.
Because he was getting his butt kicked.
Yeah.
Or they setting up the Jack Perry heel turn? I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I cannot see that little guy being a heel.
If he was going to be a heel, he'd have to be like a Christian heel, and he can't cut not Christian religion, Christian the wrestler.
I knew where you meant that.
And he can't cut promos like that.
Yeah, that's.
See, I was. Oh, go ahead, Betty.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I would go with what we just talked about. I would make him a smug rich person who, like, Like he wouldn't have to talk or do anything. He would just have to dress in his normal clothes, get himself a nice pair of sunglasses, and just talk about how much money he had. Like,
But isn't that just
Max,
MJF then?
but he could say that he is actually that. Be like, come on, Max, you're playing a character. Everybody knows I'm actually rich.
I can see it. I think that would be the only way to do it, but I think he still have to cut promos. I don't think he's good enough at that yet.
That's true, because how are you going to beat Max at a promo? You
Right.
could say he's poor all the time, and he'll. Yes.
Yeah, like if he's gonna go one-on-one with MJF and on Mike, he's gonna get destroyed.
True.
What if he turns on the other two and joins up with MJF and he makes it so MJF keeps the title, and then they're just this horrible rich boy.
They're just both obnoxious rich boys. Yeah, that would work. And
That
then MJF could talk for him. Yeah, okay, that would work. Yeah, they could show up at the arena in like fancy cars and like, yeah, okay.
I feel like that's the only way you can make him heel.
Yeah, that would actually work.
That would work. And that would be like the first big, like, major, like, pillar turn.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would like to see that.
That would be super cool. Good eye, Biddy.
Well, if it happens, I don't know, you owe me $20 or something.
Wow. Jeez.
It's Canadian though, so it's worth like 50 cents to you.
Damn it.
Speaking of MJF,
he might have sealed his own fate. He had a little backstage segment with Renee, and he slapped the mic out of her hand.
Yes, and I could just picture Mox in the background being like, "Let me get him!" Just
yes. Though I did say to you, he could have told Renee that she didn't sell the mic slap hard enough. Like, come on, honey, you're better than that.
You could have bladed. Come on, Renee.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why would I blade from that? You blade from everything.
Yes.
We've discussed
what to do. I showed you what
he's already blading as he's talking to her. Why are you bleeding? Because it's what I do.
They just cut backstage and he's bleeding from his hand for some reason. Like,
nobody knows why. He just is. Yeah, it would work. He'd make it work.
So, does Mox even reference this next week?
I mean, they've only casually mentioned that they're together. Like everyone knows they're together,
right.
But they've only casually mentioned it. Sometimes, like with Hangman, he mentioned it to Renee a little bit, but they're not like an on-screen couple. If that makes any sense, like everyone knows they're together, but they're not like their characters aren't necessarily together.
And I don't think I like it from the gist I get. Like, I don't think they ever want that either.
Right? Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I don't think they'll do anything with it.
No.
I'll take that. We had the show ended weird. We had the main event before the last segment, which threw a lot of people off.
I thought for some reason they were going to give this match like 35 minutes.
Right. Ricky Starks versus Jay White. Can I say how much I love the ending? Okay, I just want to skip to that.
Yes, I actually felt the same way.
I agree. I thought it was great.
It was so good. Starks getting himself disqualified to prove a point is great.
I really love how we did it too, because he hit Jay White first once with a chair, and the ref just and then he would just like, and then just hit him again. Like, why not? Like, it was good. It built up. It built up to the next match. It like built up Ricky Starks being like kind of fed up with this. It was great.
Yeah. Now, who wins at the pay-per-view though?
Kind of has to be Jay White, doesn't it?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I think too.
I mean, Ricky Starks is getting a push, and it would be great if he won, but Jay White is new. And
I don't think Ricky needs it.
Right. And they're going to push Jay White hard at some point.
Yeah.
It's true.
If they have him lose Jay White, like people are going to be like, who's this bum?
Right. Anyone who who only watches AEW
doesn't know who he is.
You've only seen him last year at Forbidden Door, and that's it. And then
whereas Ricky's pretty over, and you know, he can take the loss and still not lose momentum.
Especially with Forbidden Door coming up, they probably want to put Jay White in a big match for that.
Right.
And they need him to just go over.
Bullet Club in general is going to be a big time Forbidden Door.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Especially with the Elite reformed. Well, let's just get to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay White, Ricky Starks. Hell of a match, but
Great match. Yeah, we're moving on.
Moving right along. Don Callis comes out for. It was the show was sandwiched with interview segments. It was
It was. Have they ever ended on like a promo?
Not
before?
to my knowledge.
And not a promo that like developed from a match. Like
You're
sometimes
right.
they've had like someone wins the match and then cuts a promo. This was like a completely separate segment.
Yeah. This was just Don Callis coming to the ring for his explanation,
which we never got.
We never got. Because
now, do you think we didn't get it because they didn't want they're gonna drag this out, or like do they not have an explanation and this was just their way of like getting around that?
Now, see, I think they have an explanation, and I will get to that because they did something on BTE in the background that kind of played into something that happened last week.
I see.
I'll just say it now. Anyway, they remember last week when I told you guys if I asked you guys if you watched the Alex Marvez segment when he was trying to get like, why'd you just do that to Kenny?
Right.
And he was on his phone, like
right.
talking to someone. Well, on BTE, like they show them like they're getting pumped up before their match backstage, and Kenny and the Bucks are talking, and Don Callis looks down and goes, "Oh, I gotta take this," and like kind of walks away, or he says, "Oh, my phone's ringing," or "I gotta take this call," or something, and just walks away. And then there was that later, so I think they have something planned because I don't think they would have made sense to. It wouldn't have made sense to put that in BTE and then have that little segment.
Right. Okay.
So, anyways, I think they have a plan. But Kenny comes out and interrupts Don Callis. The BCC comes down and tries to attack the Elite and claims that they are the Elite. Yes. And then Hangman shows up. Oh, yes, so good.
Hangman is so over.
Hangman is very over.
Is he?
Eye patch is badass.
It really is. I saw someone mention this online. Is Hangman their most over like individual right now?
In all of AEW or in the Elite?
AEW.
Oh,
he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think when his music hits and he comes out, I think that he gets more reaction than like anyone, than Kenny Omega, than like Danielson and MJ. I think he is.
Yeah, I totally see that.
And I've heard him described as like the main character. He's like the one the fans are supposed to identify with, and I think that's 100% true. Like he's the fans.
Oh yeah.
He's the representation of the fans in AEW.
Oh,
anxious millennials. Boy, that
makes
sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that was great. Him coming out, him with the little things where he like when they chased the BCC out of the ring, and then Kenny and the Bucks were standing on one side, and he was standing off the side with them, and then walked over to stand with them. All of it was like for everything. I've knocked the Bucks and I've knocked the Elite for like not explaining themselves all the time. They don't. Like, it still kind of bugs me. But when they do like little things like that, you're like, they're paying attention, and that they're planning all this, and it's great.
And that is perfect as you could have pulled that off. That was so well done. And they challenged the BCC to Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing. Obviously, Takeshita does something big. Is Takeshita the Mole? Is he the wild card?
Yeah, he is. I don't know which. Like, I don't know where. I honestly don't know where he's gonna go. I think he's gonna end up with the BCC, but I don't know. But I think he's gonna be involved.
Yeah.
Not being a sarcastic person, he's a little baby angel man. Like,
I can't see. You're right. I can't see him being like evil.
But they're not though. Like, I mean, Danielson really isn't.
Again, like, he stabbed Hangman in the eye with his screwdriver.
Oh, that's true.
They're sadistic.
I mean, they don't see themselves as evil, but they are going around, maiming people.
I was gonna say, I apparently overlooked that. Like, you're like, well, he just stabbed Hangman in the eye. Like, oh yeah, he did. But I mean, that time
that
cool.
Yeah, remember that time he wearing an eye patch because he got stabbed in the eye? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
them.
Now, also, do you think there's still going to be problems between Kenny and Hangman? Because they've never I mean, maybe they'll resolve their issues, but they haven't.
See, this is where I think the Dark Order comes in. I think the Dark Order tries to screw it up for Hangman, and the Dark Order goes heel.
I could see them trying to screw it up for Hangman, being like, no, you're our friend. Don't go back to them. I could see that.
Yeah, and then I think they'll become heels after that.
They're
Yeah.
just mad that everyone left them because they're not cool enough.
Yeah. I can see them being like, no, you were supposed to be with us. Don't go back to them. Just because, like, yeah, the Dark Order is kind of like the cool, like the nerdy, like theater kids who, like, everyone, they're friendly, but like, if you could hang out with the cool football players, you're going to hang out with the cool football players.
Oh, yeah,
and,
totally.
And the Dark Order is kind of like, they're not them. So I can see them being like, no, don't go back to your cool friends. Keep hanging out with us. Like, remember, we had fun. And Hangman being like, yeah, but those guys. Like, I can see that.
It's going to be interesting. Well, we learned a lot of the Double or Nothing card.
Yes.
There's still a few spots left. Any guesses from you two before we?
I didn't see Rampage or read the spoilers, but apparently Jade challenges someone. I don't know who it is yet.
Oh, imagine that.
So that's there.
For Double or Nothing?
No, well, she said that, I don't know. They just said Jade has a challenge. I'm assuming it's for Double or Nothing, but I don't know that for sure. What else is there? There's no trios match yet.
Yeah, there's no trios match yet.
I think it might be the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn
for trios.
I could see. I mean, they're not going to win, but I could see that being the match because they want to get the Acclaimed on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been in trios matches recently, which they weren't doing before.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does a lot of sense.
I don't know, maybe because I've missed the last couple shows before this one, but I just feel like I haven't seen them in a while.
They're definitely like their momentum has definitely ground down. Like they were super over, and like people still want to see them. Like they're still, but like since they lost the tag titles, they've kind of just been like, like it's.
And that's one thing. Like I just don't understand why Tony Khan put the titles on the Guns.
So that FTR could come back and easily get them, I guess.
Yeah,
that's about it.
They didn't want FTR to be the Acclaimed.
Yeah, but I mean, it would have been time for the Acclaimed to lose anyway. Like, I don't know.
But if you want FTR to be faces.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it just like I think it didn't hurt the Guns in the long run, but at the time, I just thought that like, okay, they're not ready, and it didn't hurt them at all. But
I think it helped them in retrospect. At the time, I didn't think they were ready, but I think it did help them. I think it hurt the Acclaim though.
Yeah.
It did hurt. I mean, like you said, like they, as soon as Max is done rapping, the crowd is kind of out of their, is kind of over their,
Yeah, they're still over, but they're not like they were.
Yeah. It's, everyone likes the rap, everyone likes the entrance, but like the match is almost secondary now.
Right.
I don't know. But whatever. Yeah, but that's about just those two titles, and I'm sure there will be other singles matches that we don't know about yet too.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Well, yeah, they got to make it about 5 hours long, right? With buy-ins and everything.
Yeah, I never have a problem with that because like if I'm paying money to watch a thing and they're gonna make that thing longer, I'm fine with that. Like I'm tired by the end. I am.
That's what the pause button's for.
But like I'm excited just because I spent money on it and I want to watch it. So make it longer. Go for it.
Totally.
I'm not looking forward to watching. I mean, I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door in the building, but I'm not looking forward to sitting there for 6 hours or however long I'll be there
Bring
for.
snacks.
Yeah.
Yes. Smuggle some stuff in.
Maybe a butt pad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's the or is it like, do you have individual seats at that arena, or is
yeah,
it like
the seats are decent. They're like regular like arena seats. They're fine.
Are you on an aisle?
No, I'm in the middle.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
hopefully you have hopefully you have like another space on one of your sides, like an empty seat. That's
right, or
always,
something. Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah. Oh, anyways. Oh, wait, it took 88 minutes for you to say you were going to Forbidden Door.
There you go.
No, it didn't, because he was talking about how he has to convince his wife. To let
No,
him
that
watch
was
things.
talking about Collision.
That was talking about Collision.
That's different. I didn't
guess-
say the words Forbidden Door.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Well, everybody, I don't have anything. Do you guys have anything else? I'm sorry, I'm wrapping up here.
No.
Do you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Good show.
Okay. Yeah, good show.
I like Dynamite this week. I thought it was fun.
Very fun. Good show. Everybody, thank you for everything. Thank you for the listens. EliteCityPod.com is our website.
Yes.
And that's all our information's there. You know where to find us. Like, subscribe, comment, pass it along, do all that stuff too. That helps. We did get I think 2 or 3 new subs this week, so welcome to the new people. And I don't know, it's been fun. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Nope. Biddy, anything?
I'm just lovely.
She is just lovely. Well, Biddy, feel better for next week.
Thank you.
And until next week, later.